All right, good deal. I've had a long weekend, been out and announcing races. My voice is finally back. Let's get into, switch it up. Let's grab my Joy-Con. All right, everything here. Go. eShop, we'll get things started, rock and rolling. Good to go. No! Oh. Hey everybody, welcome to Rocksolid Productions and this week's episode of Switch It Up. I apologize. First of all, my name is Gary. That's not what I'm apologizing for. My voice is still a little bit hoarse here. I've been out announcing the 2018 RC Fest, which held a TLR Cup, which is Team Low C Racing, out at Eli Field this past weekend. I did a couple of live streams from there. Make sure you check them out here on the channel. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way, each and every time we do come out with new content, you are kept up to date with everything that is going on. Switch It Up is all about the Nintendo Switch and each week's new eShop releases. And this is something we need to talk about here. There is a system update for the eShop this week. So for that, we're going to exit out and go to our settings menu. We're going to run through and do the update itself. Thanks to Eric Lindquist of the Oregon Retro Gaming Group. He actually gave me the heads up that there was an update available. Go down to System Update. And once this is done, we're going to take you through everything that is new this week in the Nintendo eShop. Now that we have the update downloaded, we can check out the different new releases. And before we do that, just kind of look at the changes, the minor tweaks and whatnot. You know, recent releases, featured games are now on here as well. Great deals, where I believe before there was just sales. Bestsellers coming soon. And of course, you can enter your code for redemption of your Nintendo eShop card. So we're going to drop in here first of all into recent releases because we have a few we need to talk to. The first of all is this BLAZBLUE Cross Tag Battle. There's two different versions, one for $69.99, one for $49.99. And the difference between the two of them is the one for $69.99 includes extra content. Basically, you get the BLAZBLUE Cross Tag Battle game itself, some additional free downloads, which everyone is eligible for, but you do get additional character DLC. That's normally, let's see, $5, $10, $15, $20, $25. So by doing the bundle, you actually save yourself $5. Let's go with $5. For the bundle, you're looking at $69.99, and you do get up to 350 eShop coins. And with BLAZBLUE Cross Tag Battle, think of it very similar to any of the arcade style fighters over the years that you may have played. The graphic design and the styling in here is absolutely gorgeous. Reminds me almost of like a Capcom versus SNK because you can tag fighters in and out. As I said, the art style is extremely beautiful. Now, if you're kind of hesitant, if this is the type of fighter that you would be interested in, there is a demo available for download. Now, myself, I thought it was okay, but not great. Really, my main type of fighter that I like is like Street Fighter. That's my favorite, even over like Mortal Kombat or any of the other games. This was okay, not quite my cup of tea, but $49.99 gets you 250 coins, or like I mentioned, $69.99 will get you 350 coins in the eShop. Next up, this one is really unique looking, and this is the Infectious Madness of Dr. Dekker, and this one is $12.99, and you are eligible for 65 eShop coins. And looking at it, it's just one of those that's going to mess with your head a little bit. It uses a lot of full motion video capture on here, and because of that, the file size is rather large. Looking at the gameplay style and everything, it almost reminds me of the old style, like the VCR type games, or even the some of the Sega CD games like Night Trap or Sewer Shark, where you are interacting with pre-recorded messages from different characters as you try to solve the case. Over 1,600 full motion video responses provides a lot of depth to this game. You're basically a psychiatrist that's trying to solve a murder while treating the unusual patients of the recently deceased Dr. Dekker. You ask any questions and collect the evidence as you uncover the identity of the randomly generated murderer while trying to figure out the chaos that was left behind. The random murderer aspect is interesting because it's chosen at the start of the game to help combat spoilers. You can ask whatever you want. You type the questions, phrases, or keywords with full touchscreen support. You do have suggested questions to help you kind of, move you along in the game as well. You have multiple endings to find out who did it, and multiple stories. There's 6 main suspects, 5 side quests, and you also get... There's multiple stories, including... There's multiple endings where you can find out who did it and find out what happens to you and your patients. There are 6 main suspects and 5 side quests, including John Gilleur from Contradiction. You have a simple UI where you can view evidence, make notes, watch replays, and see your question history. This is a one-player game, again, $12.99, available now in the Nintendo eShop for the Switch. Happy Birthdays is kind of an oddball sort of game for $39.99, and you get 200 eShop coins. This game comes from Mr. Yasuhiro Wada from Toybox Inc., and this is a sandbox game in which players create cube-shaped worlds, very similar to Minecraft, that give rise to diverse and unique life forms. Think Spore meets Minecraft. With careful experimentation, players can shape the geography and alter the temperature of the world to create conditions for life and witness the birth of an entire ecosystem. Myself, looking at it at a $40 game, I don't know that I see the value there, but who knows if you're a fan of, like I say, Spore, SimCity, SimEarth, and of course Minecraft, that may be something you'd want to consider. And finally, for the last release here on June 5, we have Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn. And the interesting thing about this game at $19.99, and it does include 100 eShop coins, is the developers even kind of acknowledge the original game was not very good. In fact, they admit it was pretty bad. But you are here to settle the score of 1994 as you fight it out as Shaquille O'Neal, inspired by the actual cartoon and everything Shaq Fu. It has obviously better graphics that are more stylized to today's more powerful consoles versus the Super NES or the Genesis, where this was released on originally. This is just a beat-em-up brawler that's designed to be stupid, silly fun for $19.99. It's kind of funny too that they are drawing conclusions here, or connections between Moses and Shaq, which is hilarious. Like they're asking, does the Bible feature basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal as an ass-kicking, woozing master? Can the Holy Wit boast a dope rap featuring the big apostle himself? Does the Book of Books provide the excitement and hilarity of battling bosses who are parodies of famous douchebags? Do any of the conflicts depicted in the Sacred Testimony qualify as epic boss battles that you won't believe we actually put into a game? Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn does contain all those thrilling features and money more. So buy it. It's pretty cheap. You gotta enjoy the sense of humor here. This is only a one-player game. Kind of wish that it was 2 players so you could have head-to-head fighting there. Next up, coming out on the 6th of June, is Shape of the World. And Shape of the World is $14.99, and then you do get 75 eShop coins. Shape of the World reminds me almost of a VR game that was designed for VR and then ported over to a 2D flat panel screen for your TV or a handheld. You unwind as you wander at your own pace in a surreal environment that will beckon you to explore, hinting at distant landmarks, encouraging you to delve deeper into the woods. You play with an organic and mysterious ecosystem where you can interact with graceful animals, flora, and intriguing monoliths. Your actions will alter your world as you discover what is going on in vibrant and unexpected ways, leaving you wondering what will happen with each path that you forge. It's a living world too, and the forest will only materialize as you move through it, and it regrows anew as you pass through different areas you've previously explored. This is a one-player game, and like I say, it's kind of trippy, really kind of cel-shaded too. Not something that I would probably be into myself, but for those of you who are into like that open world, just wandering, I look at this, and this is what I think of Breath of the Wild, quite honestly, where there's no real, what's the end game versus just exploring. Up next, also available on the 6th, is Grid Retroenhanced, and this is $11.99, and you qualify for 60 eShop coins. And this one is really neat looking. I really like the style that they've taken with these graphics. It reminds me a lot of ways of Tron combined with like the Lawnmower Man with like a Zaxxon. The soundtrack definitely sounds like it could have been inspired by Daft Punk and what they did for the second Tron movie and everything. You can unlock bonuses as you fly through and defeat different enemies and bosses. Lock on to enemies with your fighter as you traverse through the world itself. As you fly your craft to hack through an involving set of punishing enemies, deadly lasers, and other fiendish obstacles, you'll attempt to take down an unrelenting security mainframe to take down the system's AI and cement your place on the leaderboard. Inspired by cyberpunk dystopian films, early home computing, and a pulse synthwave soundtrack from Dream Fiend, Grid takes a classic bygone era and evolves it into a modern arcade experience. And that's where I say, like, the Tron meets Lawnmower Man experience comes into it. This is a one-player shoot-'em-up and something I'm actually really interested in myself. Now, Samurai Defender Ninja Warrior is $7.20, comes out on the 7th, and you get 36 eShop coins. And it's a type of game you don't see much anymore. It's tower defense based on, samurais, essentially. In Samurai Defender Ninja Warfare, in this tower defense game, you defend your castle against the waves of enemies laying siege at your gate. Test your tactical abilities and be your own master of strategy. To win, you must utilize the capabilities of your men to repel the daunting invading forces. As the enemies move towards your gates, you have no time to lose. You'll fight your way in high-octane boss battles against historically famous commanders and generals. It is a one-player game, and for $7.20, actually a pretty good value, especially if you, like me, enjoy tower defense games. Now, Iro Hero is pretty unique here, also coming out on the 7th, $12.99, 65 eShop coins. And there are 9 different levels in this one-player shoot-'em-up. And as you can see, the graphics are very much inspired by the 8-bit and 16-bit era. In some ways, it almost reminds me of a lower resolution Ikaruga. Iro Hero is a vertical shoot-'em-up with beautiful pixel art and graphics inspired by many old-school classics. Staged across 9 action-packed levels, Iro Hero features a unique and fresh approach to the popular color polarity mechanic, just like Ikaruga, with interactive level elements, color zones, reflective surfaces, and a whole lot more. You'll encounter 10 different types of enemies with over 100 different behaviors, and you'll defeat 10 final bosses in the vein of classic arcade games. You get to unlock special skills throughout the game that will help you land a final blow or escape from desperate situations. Again, like I say, if you like the top-down shoot-'em-up, Iro Hero for $12.99, something you may want to consider. Now, Flashback is a game that, well, it's not as old as I am, but this is a 25-year-old classic. It's $19.99, and this will be available on the 7th as well. It is the year 2142. After fleeing from a spaceship, but stripped of all memory, the eminent scientist Conrad B. Hart awakens on Titan, a colonized moon of the planet Saturn. His enemies and kidnappers are snapping at his heels. He must find a way back to Earth, defending himself against the dangers he encounters and unraveling an insidious extraterrestrial plot that threatens the planet. This again is its 25th anniversary, and it has been re-released so that you can enjoy this classic. In addition to the original 1993 game, this version includes a modern mode with post-effects graphics filters, a completely remastered sound and music track, brand new rewind function variable according to the level of difficulty, and tutorials for those like me who may have never played the original. That is Flashback, coming out on the 7th. Another one, and this one is kind of weird, at least to me. This is A Magical High School Girl for $14.99, comes out on the 7th. And this is a magic crafting RPG. A Magical High School Girl is a magic crafting roguelike RPG, and the only weapon you possess is the magic you conjure from within. You can freely name your magic as you see fit. The elemental properties and effects are generated automatically with what you have typed in. Above and beyond that, there's really not a whole lot of information on this, which I kind of put on the developer on this game for $14.99. You might want to wait for some reviews before you dive into that one. Now this one here, the Banner Saga 2, we talked about the original one a few weeks back in Switch It Up, and this is the sequel now that has been released, $19.99, and will be available on the 7th. Again, for those not familiar with the original or who haven't seen the original Switch It Up where we featured this is a Viking-based RPG. Not being an RPG fan myself, even I have to just kind of take a step back and look at the animation and just be impressed with what they have been able to pull off, not just in cutscenes, but with actual battle visuals as well. It is just gorgeous with this hand-drawn epic RPG. Some scenes remind me of either like late 70s Disney cartoons or even some Don Bluth animations as well. That's how good this looks. In Banner Saga 2, the world continues to crumble around you. Only one bastion of hope remains, but getting there will require strong leadership, hard sacrifices, influencing new heroes, and sound strategy in your combat. You have new characters and a new race, the Horseborn, improved strategic combat with consequences, improved, more strategic battle boards, enhanced combat, and permanent loss of characters will stay away heavy on your mind long after your battle is over. The journey is as important as the battle, and your role is critical in building and managing your caravan as you travel the vast landscape. Again, just the artwork and the design that has gone into this game is absolutely gorgeous. If you are interested at all in RPGs, I'm not, but even I, looking at this, I love animation. I kind of want it just for that. So that is the Banner Saga 2. Next up, also coming out on the 7th, is the Number Puzzle, and it is $4.99. And this, if anything, reminds me almost of like Sudoku. With the Number Puzzle, you follow easy rules to fill in a grid with the numbers 1 through 9. So simple, you will probably get addicted. And there's over 500 puzzles to play with 4 sets of rules and 4 different difficulties. They claim you're never going to get tired of playing. You can play normal, mini, diagonal on, and overlapping play modes. The how to play gives you easy instructions for each play mode's rules, and you can pick from 4 difficulties for each set of rules, from beginner to expert. There's even a rank mode where you can compete against other users for the fastest completion time, and you can, of course, unlock achievements. Play the game to collect all 50 background images too. So for $4.99, if you like those type of puzzle games, the Number Puzzle definitely worth checking out. Now, the Kettlebell Wars is another RPG coming out. It is $3.89, but unlike a traditional RPG, this is more like a card-based RPG, almost like a Magic the Gathering, I would say. This action card game battle features fights by drawing out many cards using energy accumulated in real time. There's 2 different types of aliens you can play with, Alien Hula and Alien Kane, where you'll prove your strength by fighting as either alien. Friend battles are also available. You have 15 changeable stages that will await you, and the winners will be the one who makes the best of many players and moves and effective cards. This 1 to 2 player game available on 6/7 for $3.89. Degeneration, the original, is very similar to Flashback, where this is a re-release. $14.99 coming out on the 7th. The original Degeneration was released way back in 1994, and now it is back after a long hiatus. Back when it was originally released, it was in the top 40 games for over 5 years. Alone with your jetpack, you've flown from Finland across the globe over Asia to deliver a package to Genetic Biolabs in Singapore. You land on the building's 80th floor, set back, finding nobody there to greet you. And when you enter the building, the main door snaps shut behind you, and you narrowly escape being killed by the building's security system. You find the receptionist hiding behind her desk. She tells you that Genetic's head scientist, Dirda, has been demanding the package you're carrying. His last panic message came over an hour ago. This package is more important than you could have thought. In this 1-player action-adventure game, not my cup of tea again, very 80s inspired it looks like, but for those of you who did love the original, this does look like it is an authentic recreation of that game. Coming now on the 8th, this is Sushi Striker, The Way of Sushido. And I had to be very deliberate with how I said it there. This one is $49.99 from Nintendo themselves, and you are eligible for 250 coins. In this 1 to 2 player sushi stacker game, again coming out on the 8th, it has elements of action RPG, puzzler, and a whole lot more. There are elements of Tetris and Pokemon in this, other kind of matching games as I see in here. It is something that as you go along, the game gets faster and faster. Hop-ups come out more and more. The unique thing too, it is not only coming out for the Switch, it is also coming out for the Nintendo 3DS. You must help Musashi end the Empire's tyrannical monopoly of the world's sushi supply by becoming a sushi striker. Devour conveyor belts sushi, matching plates, and sushi types to defeat any enemy or boss who stands between you and victory. You'll befriend sushi sprites and use their powerful skills in battle. A deliciously strategic action RPG battle awaits you here. In many ways, it kind of reminds me of like Battle Tetris, Puyo Puyo Tetris, Puyo Puyo itself, even some elements of Pokemon in here, but $49.99 from Nintendo themselves, and then you are eligible for 250 eShop coins. Legendary 11 comes out on the 8th, and this is a traditional soccer game, but it is inspired by soccer from the 70s to the 90s, during the, well, many people consider that more the heyday of soccer. The fields you play on will dynamically change based on different weather conditions and settings, so you can have snow, rain, sleet, or a whole lot of sun. This is a fresh approach to the game of soccer with fluid gameplay and unique mechanics. You'll develop astonishing plays and keep possession of the ball to perform unstoppable super shots. Gamble with sliding tackles to steal the ball without the referee whistling for a foul, and trust in your fans to support you if you're losing, or you can use special trading stickers to boost the stats for your team. But that one will be coming out on the 8th. 2 more this week. We have One Strike. I guess technically, since I made a mistake, there'd be 2 strikes. $4.99 comes out on the 8th, and this is an 8-bit inspired fighter where you will be battling in like a feudal Japan type era. The animation style is very unique in this, where the background layers and your character layers are just really neatly animated and drawn in here. Definitely 8-bit inspired, but you can see how it uses the power of modern consoles to help kind of up the game, no pun intended. In One Strike, you have 4 different modes. 1 life, just like in real life, you've only got 1. Arcade, where you can actually get 5 lives to train with your character. Team Duel, where you can put together your best team of 3 warriors. Or Tournament Mode, where you're up to 8 players, AI or real person, can fight for the final victory. At $4.99, if you like the side-scrolling beat-em-ups, this is really a unique take. Again, the fact that One Strike can be the difference between winning and losing. Finally, this week we have Operation Hardcore. And this one I look at $12.99, and it comes out on the 8th. And man, this reminds me of Contra as far as the gameplay goes, and a couple of the other 2D shoot-em-ups as well. Set on Earth in 1999, an unprovoked alien invasion is underway. You, a total badass, don't really appreciate it, and you are not going to stand for it. You get downright outraged. You pack up some essentials, guns, cigars, whiskeys, you know, the basics, and head out into the night. Little do you know that tonight you will make history. This is your Operation Hardcore. You're going to fight your way past enemies using a range of different weapons. You can double jump your way around obstacles and hazards, activate traditional plasma-based shield to deflect enemy fire, drink some whiskey to slow time down and increase damage at the expense of a little bit of mental clarity. You get to strap on a jetpack and get airborne for some classic forced scrolling challenges. Collect coins to purchase items, weapons, and upgrades between levels. Grab a friend for some friendly and or competitive 2-player co-op through 12 different levels of fiery, bloody, explosive-y, alien blasting mayhem. You get 4 playable characters to choose from, analog controls for precise 360-degree aiming, modern sound design, and electronic soundtrack by Snug, intense 2-player local co-op, modern particle, atmospheric, and lighting effects, multiple difficulty settings and upgrades, unlockables for the overachieving, enterprising badass. $12.99 comes out on the 8th. That is Operation Hardcore, and those are your 18 releases in the Nintendo eShop for the week of June the 3rd through June the 10th, 2018. Next week we have a couple games, quite a few games to look at. We've got Tennis World Tour. We have The Incredibles Legos, another version of Minecraft, Vegas Party, Drawful 2, and coming up shortly after that, Mario Aces, Crash Bandicoot, The Insane Trilogy. Wolfenstein 2 is coming, Mushroom Wars 2. There's quite a bit coming, and don't forget, E3 is right around the corner. I'm sure we are going to see a lot of exciting new releases coming for the Nintendo Switch. That's basically everything that is coming out this week for the Nintendo Switch here on Switch It Up. If you do have any comments or questions about anything that you've seen here, as always, make sure to shoot me an email, rocksolidmail@gmail.com. You can also hit me up on our Facebook page at facebook.com/rocksolidproductions or over on our Twitter account at Rock Solid Studios. Character limit thing, that's why one's productions, one's studios. You can also go ahead and help donate to the future of Rock Solid Productions by joining us over on our Patreon page. Patreon.com/rocksolid. For as little as $1 a month, you get access to all of our video content early, one-on-one conversations with me, special projects like one of the things I have to finish getting posted is our de-yellowing of the Nintendo Super Famicom. I have completed that now. I've just got to kind of show the results and everything going back together. That is, again, over at patreon.com/rocksolid. Also, if you want to help support the channel, you can pick yourself up some merch. Head on over to our Teespring store. We've got t-shirts, sweatshirts, and a whole lot more where you can help represent the channel if you want to. And as always, don't forget, if you do like what you see here, if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification. That way, each and every time I do come out with new content, you are given alerts right on your phone, right on your tablet, right in your email, depending on how you have your notifications set up. So winners this week, I look at winners and losers, let's say. Shaq Fu, okay, maybe, sort of. Kind of wish there was a demo of it. The Infectious Madness of Dr. Dekker actually looks pretty interesting for only $12.99. Other games coming out this week, I love tower defense games, so Samurai Defender, Ninja Warfare, I may try that out. Same with Iro Hero, just because I also really love that style of game, that top-down shoot-'em-up. I have always been a huge fan of. And then, where's the other one? There we go. Grid is another one for $11.99. Right up my alley. Again, that shooter, that kind of techno combination of Tron, The Matrix, Zaxxon, The Lawnmower Man, Hey Jude, all sorts of really cool stuff. So really cool games coming out this week. A little bit light on a few things. If you like RPGs, check out the Banner Saga too. I'm not an RPG fan, and even I'm kind of intrigued with that. Some of the other ones, the re-releases, Degeneration, the original, I wasn't a fan of the original, so it doesn't do anything for me. Same with Flashback, not a big game for me. And Sushi Striker, The Way of Sushido, easy enough for me to say, And finally, Operation Hardcore, I think looks like it could be good. We'll have to see. But I am Gary. This has been Rock Solid Productions, and this week's episode of Switch It Up. I promise next week my voice will be better. Maybe a little bit less tan, though, than what you see here. I want to thank you all for watching and stopping by, and I'll see you soon.